Okay, we're off with another page of our paraphrases. Point 79. A man answered the phone. He said that Tom was out. The man who answered the phone said that Tom was out. Easy enough. Peggy lives next door. She's a friend of mine. Peggy, who lives next door, is a friend of mine. Don't treat these animals so badly, said Bridget to the farmer. Bridget told the farmer not to treat these animals so badly. It's a simple rendition of reported speech here. Woodworth lived in the Lake District. Many people considered him a great poet. Wordsworth, whom many people considered a great poet, lived in the Lake District. She showed him in. He was showed in. Wellington defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. It was fought in 1815. Napoleon was defeated by Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo, which was fought in 1815. Don't buy me any more flowers, Mary said to John. Mary told John not to buy her any more flowers. After the manager had signed the letters, his secretary posted them. Before the secretary posted the letters, the manager had signed them. Stratford is in Warwickshire. Shakespeare was born there. Shakespeare, who was born in Warwickshire. Shakespeare was born in Warwickshire, which is located in Stratford. Shakespeare, who was born. Stratford is in Warwickshire. Shakespeare was born there. Shakespeare, who was born in Shakespeare was born in Stratford, which is in Warwickshire. Great, finally. Things in shop windows always tempt her. Okay, so we need to apply passive voice to this exercise, and so she is always tempted by things in windows. Speaking English with a good accent is difficult. It is difficult to speak English with a good accent. Point 90. Why don't we go on the roller coaster? I said. Suggest is always connected to ing, so what we need to do is we need to say I suggested going on a roller coaster. Nobody spoke to her at the party. She was not spoken to at the party. Point 92. Shall I help you pack? Asked Noel. Noel offered to help me pack. Okay, great. Now we need to resize the window a little bit to see better. Okay, this seems to work fine. Okay, great. Noel, right? Okay, so point 93. Help, help, cried somebody. Somebody cried, help, help. Yeah, that's a simple example where we don't even have to do reported speech. We just say somebody cried. Okay, we can do it in two ways. We can say somebody cried and then put the inverted commas and say help, help, or just say somebody cried for help. Okay. In the first example, we don't even do reported speech. We just copy paste the inverted commas and the phrase, and that means we are just repeating the regular sentence that was said. We don't even report it. But if we say somebody cried for help, we report it actually. So there you go. Two ways to do it. When I was young, it was my habit to bathe every night. I used to bathe every night when I was young. So remember that when we talk about habits, we can do used to, or we can use would, right? So we can also say, I would bathe every night when I was young. You can also do it like this. It's a pity I won't see him during my stay in Warwick. I won't see him, so we can say this is referring actually to the future, so you don't have to use past perfect. You can use either past simple or since this is referring to a situation that can actually happen in the future, you can use would, right? So I wish I would see him during my stay in Warwick. You can do it like this as well. Or even apply could, yeah? I wish I could see him during my stay in Warwick. That would also work. It's true. I stole that gold ring, John Brown said. John Brown admitted to stealing that gold ring. Fantastic. I would like everyone to stop fighting. I wish everyone would stop fighting. I wish everyone would stop fighting. I think you should take an aspirin. You had better take an aspirin. You had better take an aspirin. We are giving somebody a piece of advice, and in doing so, we use the had better structure, which is actually used when we want to give somebody a piece of advice. 99. May I use your phone? He asked me. He asked me if he could use my phone. That would be one. If he might use my phone, is may. So we can do might. Or could will also be okay. Or he asked me to use my phone. I think we can do it like this as well. Yes, I think we can do it like this as well. People believe that prehistoric people lived in trees. Prehistoric people are believed to have lived in trees, because this is an example of a structure where we actually can use the to have something, right? You probably remember the sentence I usually quote in these types of exercises. So on one hand you can say John is believed to be a good man if we're referring to the present, or John is believed to have been a good man when we are referring to a past situation. So prehistoric people are believed to have lived in trees would be the best option, I think. Exercise 101. Someone is going to redecorate our living room. Have something done would be a good structure. So we are going to have our living room redecorated. So we are going to have our living room redecorated. So going to and have something done. Perfect match here for this answer. 102. I'm sure Joe Pitt poisoned his wife, said the inspector. The inspector suspected Joe Pitt of poisoning his wife. Very easy. Just suspect somebody of something. He never uses dirty language. Oh, and here we have a perfect example of inversion. So we need to first identify the tense. He never uses dirty language. What tense is this? This is present simple. So in present simple we have the operator of does. So never does he use dirty language. If the movie about inversion is already on our channel, and I think it already is there, it should be there already when you watch this movie. So you can watch the inversion movie and learn more about inversion and how we do it. 104. It's a shame we didn't apologize to Mary for all that mess. We should have apologized to Mary for all that mess. We should have apologized. When we talk about the past and we use verbs like should or ought to, we need to add have later, so we should have apologized to Mary. It isn't necessary to pay at once. We don't need to pay at once, or we don't have to pay at once. They probably stopped to do some shopping. Okay, so here we are expressing probability in the past, and if you're not sure about this, watch the movie about modal verbs, and when you're talking about the past and expressing some probability, you want to use have and the third form later on. So they may have stopped to do some shopping. A mechanic has repaired their washing machine. They had their washing machine repaired by a mechanic would be the right answer. It was nothing new to him to stand in queues. He was used to standing in queues. He was used to standing in queues. So remember that the used to w sensie przyzwyczajony do takes an ing and used to do something w sensie kiedyś zwykł coś robić takes just regular. It's just a regular structure, usually in past simple. So there's a difference between be used to and used to, okay? Be used to, być przyzwyczajonym do robienia czegoś i zwykle bierze ing. Natomiast I used to go shopping with my mom when I was younger. Here we have the used to structure. Zwykłem coś robić, gdy byłem mały. Used to ing. So, for example, I am not used to getting up in the morning. Czyli nie jestem przyzwyczajony do wstawania rano wcześnie. I tutaj zwykłem chodzić do sklepu z mamą, kiedy byłem młody. Okay, so these are two different structures. Remember about that. I'm absolutely sure they didn't forget to pay. And here we are expressing probability in the past, and we want to use the model verb plus have. So they couldn't have forgotten to pay, right? They couldn't have forgotten to pay. We're expressing our near certainty that something didn't happen in the past. The plane took off although the weather was awful. In spite of the awful weather, the plane took off. Fantastic. In spite of the awful weather, the plane took off. Help me with this suitcase, please. Would you mind helping me with this suitcase? Mind is connected to ing, so would you mind helping me with this suitcase? They made Jack cancel all his appointments. Jack was made to cancel all his appointments. They made Jack cancel. Jack was made to cancel. There you go. I must find somebody to paint this room. I must have this room painted. This is the have something done structure, yeah? I must have the room painted. They made Jack cancel. Yeah, Jack was made to. This is passive voice. When we use passive voice, make takes to, so they were made, he was made to, right? In passive voice. 114. Everybody says he is a successful businessman. Oh, this is very easy. We discussed this structure many times. He is said to be a successful businessman. Fantastic. Her skirt is too long. Her skirt needs cutting or shortening. They think he was a very cruel man. He is, and here we want to use the same verb that we had in the previous sentence. So they think, so he is thought to have been a very cruel man because this is in the past. So he wasn't a cruel man in the past. So he is thought to have been a very cruel man. Miriam told the gardener to plant some beautiful roses in the garden. She had, okay, so somebody did something for her. If we want to say that somebody did something for us, we want to use the have something done structure. So she had beautiful roses planted in the garden. Fantastic. They will renew the contract for you. You will have the contract renewed. You will have something done, right? You will have the contract renewed. So this is another sentence where we use the have something done structure. You will have the contract renewed. And the final one, if you 119, you didn't warn me, so I wasn't more careful. Okay, so this is in the past. You didn't warn me, and I wasn't more careful. It's in the past as well. And we remember that when we talk about past events, we want to use this side of the column. And sorry, that's the would rather table. Where's our conditionals table? There it is. We want to use the past, so we use this one, and we are talking about an alternative version of a situation, so we use third conditional. There you go, third conditional here. So you didn't warn me, so I wasn't more careful. If you had warned me, I would have been more careful. Fantastic. Okay, so we've just covered the almost 120 exercises, so we'll be back with the remaining part in the next section. Thank you.